Okay, so this session is really about business strategy and leadership. Take the next hour and think about professional development. How can I be a better strategist? How can I be a better leader? And sharpen that saw. I think when you get into business strategy and leadership, and actually use these synonymously. So let me talk about that for a second. Here are ways to be successful in business strategy, but absolutely, when you see the 10 universal truths on how to succeed in strategy, it's really akin to leadership as well. This picture is where you're going to win. It's getting into the scrum. It's taking action. Maybe it's making a bad play, but you're going to get up and you're going to make the next play. If you spend all your time planning and not in the scrum executing, you're never going to win. Strategy without execution is hallucination. And if I only had 2 words to describe a successful chief strategist, it's being facilitative and it's being consultative. And I'm going to explain both of those. But where people are really winning is in relationships. And I like to use this tool because it explains how to be facilitative. So sometimes to be facilitative, you've got to ask that next level of questions and the next layer underneath that and really get to what the core issue is. Knowing the questions to ask, not having all the right answers. That's what being facilitative is. You know, when you've had a really good coach or mentor, they get you, you move at the speed of light. And when you don't have that trust, how painful and slow it is. Creating a culture in which people have the courage to speak up and endure that pain, it's one of the most selfless things a leader can do. It's tough. It's tough. We all need to work better at that. Where the expertise comes in is how to apply them. And so again, I'm going to show you some tools that you need to think about and figure out based on my culture, based on my company, based on the personalities that we have, how can I tweak that model and apply it to my business to make it work? That's where the secret sauce is. Speed and agility trump size. And while that doesn't sound like rocket science, again, I would tell you that at this point in history, this is a truth and usually has not been. Convergence of 2 major tidal waves, okay? Social technologies and demographic shifts. This was a tool, this was a process that we used to hold them accountable and to have a conversation data-based, not emotional-based, and actually have better success. You know, think about going back to the office on Monday and talking to your staff or talking to the executive team and saying, getting answers to these questions. You know, what are you passionate about? Risk can equal opportunity. Some of the conversations that we're having about this is let's try and get past risk and it just being a bad thing. So I use those 3 slides as an example. You know, when you're in certain industries where it's hard to predict what's going on or there's a tremendous amount of uncertainty, I like this McKinsey model to try and facilitate the conversation around how to get away from the uncertainty and try and predict certain stuff and get alignment with your teams on where the uncertainty really is. 1, having an incredible sous chef makes all the difference in the world. Everything I needed to know about business strategy and leadership, I learned from the movies. So if you think about it, parables and storytelling, it's the oldest form of passing down wisdom from generation to generation. Movies is just advanced storytelling. When Cortez was sailing for the New World, when he got there, he burned his ships. He burned his ships to motivate his crew so that they would succeed in the New World and not have an excuse to fail and to try and go back home. Learn from farmers. There's lots of things you can learn, but keep sharpening that saw and make sure that you're taking some time off. Everything I need to know about business strategy and leadership, I learned from the Shark Tank. When you see him evaluate deals, he's looking for emotional intelligence and he wants to see passion and buy-in. He's asking these people, you know, why are you doing this? Is this a hobby? Is this full-time? Are you passionate? I'm investing in you and I want to know that you're in this business. If you're not planning appropriately, it's a rudderless ship. Having clear roles and responsibilities and facilitating and driving teamwork. Big, big, big. Awareness creates choices, actions get results. So lastly, combination of skills and approaches. I would argue these 10 things, if you've got these things nailed, you're doing a good job, you're doing well in your business, but you've got to figure out how to tweak these things and make them real in your business.